Welcome back to the channel, my beautiful people. I trust that everyone is having a wonderful day today. Guys, thank you for the love, thank you for the support. My name is Dwight, and it's a great pleasure to have you here. So guys, if you're new to the channel, I welcome you. If you're returning, welcome back. So welcome back to the channel, my beautiful people. And on today's agenda, we're going to be diving into the ultimate land of Poland. All right, so we're going to be doing Poland first to fight. Now guys, that just says a lot, you know, and knowing what that Poland went through during the time of World War II, guys, you know, and what they did, you know, the forces, you know, resisted fiercely, and they gained, you know, their reputation for bravery, guys, and resilience. You know, that is amazing. Now I've done some reactions to I've done the Rota, and this is the Polish patriot song. And guys, I had no idea, you know, you guys went through all of this, and it's amazing how you stand, you know, tall and together, you know, as one, and you still are. That's amazing, man. I just love that. Guys, I'm not gonna bore you here with my long intro, so you know, we just gonna go and just dive right into that. All right,
it's heard recently that the Poles are jointly responsible for the Holocaust, that death camps, for example, in Auschwitz were Polish, but that's only a little bit of a newly written politically correct history which uses the word Nazi instead of German. What's more, murderers are very often whitewashed, and other nations, like the Poles, get blamed. And even the chief of the FBI believes that rubbish, believes it and repeats it. So let me tell you how it really was, and I hope that in 10 minutes you will understand that it's not worth to repeat that nonsense, and that the Poles did a great job during World War II.
Oh yes, man. Wow. Poles first to fight.
The biggest balls in Europe. In 1933, Hitler came to power, and nobody yet expected what huge conflict will be caused by this Austrian jerk, just in case some of you thought that he was German. Anyway, let's explain this whole situation and what exactly led to World War II.
And to make it worse, man, he was not even German. What am I hearing there?
The Treaty of Versailles, which ended the Great War, caused that the Germans, even though they were winning at the front, lost the war. And what's more, winning countries dictated them such terms that it was only a matter of time for the Germans to look for revenge. They had to accept independence of Poland, Czechoslovakia, cut down the army, and pay huge war reparations. And one day there came a small guy with a mustache and said, "Hey Germans, we are the master race and we won't let anybody push us around like that. Besides, we got nothing to lose. They milk us for all we are worth. And do you know who causes all these problems?
Nah, it didn't sound too good.
The Jews do."
It didn't
and
sound
Germans
too good.
listened to him. Step by step, the Germans grew in strength, violated the terms of Treaty of Versailles, they got the army going, and soon annexed Austria into the Reich. To make a good start, they opened a concentration camp, and do you know who opened the first concentration camp in the world? Check it out, you'll be very surprised. The world was silent, although it could have just listened to our Polish Marshal Piłsudski, who considered a preventive strike on Germany before they would grow in strength. But Western politicians pretend that nothing's happening and buried their heads in the sand, exposing their butts.
Oh.
The Germans, accelerated with the lack of opposition, decided to make the Poles an offer they couldn't refuse. And it went like that. "Dear Poles, we are taking over the free city of Danzig, but for our own comfort, we will cut a piece of your territory for us so we could build a road there, cause for us it's not very convenient that your country is on our way. Just take it easy and follow the example of the rest of the world shutting up. Accept our offer and maybe we will not attack you." But they probably forgot that they were making an offer to the nation which had just regained independence, loved every bit of the country and had the biggest balls in Europe. Our Minister of Foreign Affairs, Józef Beck, gave this very important speech. I let him talk.
Pokój jest rzeczą cenną i pożądaną. Nasza generacja, trawiona w wojnach, na pewno na okres pokoju zasługuje. Ale pokój, jak prawie wszystkie sprawy tego świata, ma swoją cenę. Wysoką, ale wymierną. My w Polsce nie znamy pojęcia pokoju za wszelką cenę. Jest jedna tylko rzecz w życiu ludzi, narodów i państw, która jest bezcenna. Tą rzeczą jest honor.
Wow.
Naturally, we knew that this answer meant war with Germany, but we, the Poles, were the first ones to say no to the Nazis. But wait, there's more. I'm not sure if you know that there were talks with London, Paris and Moscow, and someone had an amazing idea that for scaring Hitler, our territory will be entered by the Red Army. But the Poles, drawing conclusions from the past, knew that if the Russians enter our land once, they probably won't leave it out of their own free will. So we said another no, this time to Stalin. We had to pay the highest price for honor, but on the other hand, other countries didn't even try to fight for this most precious thing. And yes, I'm talking about England and France.
Yeah.
England
so
has been
sad,
offered a choice between war and shame. She has chosen shame and will get war. Do you know what Hitler wanted the most? To take revenge on the French for the Treaty of Versailles. He wanted to strike French first, but he knew damn well that if he does, the Poles will fulfill the contract and attack him from the east. Unfortunately, he also supposed that the French and the British are sissies and will not dare to attack Germany, so he struck Poland first. Unfortunately, he was right.
Alright, so now I got a clear understanding of this. You know, because in 1939, I think that's the time Germany invaded Poland. Now the whole idea was not to enter Poland. It was I feel it was France or England. You know, so man, this is so sad, man. And look where the Poles, if these countries had gotten attacked first, the Poles, man, would have stuck the nose in that day, you know. Now, when the Poles got attacked, no one. Man, this is so sad, man. All right, guys, I'm going to bring this back and let's continue watching.
Germany, so he struck Poland first. Unfortunately, he was right.
Yeah.
Glory to the heroes.
Yeah.
And so started the war, unparalleled, and it started in Poland. And what's more, the Germans provoked it themselves. How did they did that? Well, they dressed their own guys in Polish uniforms and attacked their own radio station. They immediately announced that such a Polish aggression would not be tolerated, and so started the war. The World War II. We were attacked along almost the whole border, and Westerplatte was battered by the battleship Schleswig-Holstein, which had come here several days before under a pretext of a friendly visit. Yeah, if it was a friendly visit, then Putin is a peace angel, but getting back to the war, Germans didn't have any idea that the Poles will be so hard to fight. The Germans were sure they'd win because they had adopted a new strategy, Blitzkrieg, an all-out express attack, and they had approximately 4 times bigger firepower, but it wasn't so easy with us, the Poles, because the Germans thought that, for example, Westerplatte will be defending itself for maximum 1 day, but our boys defended it for a week and didn't even suffer heavy losses. During the Battle of Bzura, we also gave them a rough ride. For 4 days, Wehrmacht didn't know what's going on. We gave them such a licking. The German Blitzkrieg was slowed down and Warsaw was given more time for preparing the defense. What's worse, after only 17 days after the German attack, the Russians attacked us from the east, and we, the Poles, had absolutely no chances in fighting against 2 such huge enemies.
What? Guys,
and let's be honest, this war could have ended in September 1939 with Hitler's defeat if only France and England had shown honor because, let's be honest, Hitler had to send almost all of his troops to Poland, leaving his western border almost completely defenseless.
Right.
You're probably thinking, ooh, Poles, you were fighting so bravely, but still you lost.
No!
Well, we'll talk about
No.
that in a minute, but still, with a smaller army, abandoned by the British, the French, and with a Russian knife in our backs, we still fought for over a month. Just like France did, which had a way bigger army and wasn't stabbed in the back.
I will not die for Le Danzig, then you will die for Paris.
Flying aces. Despite the last September campaign, the war continued on the biggest territory in history, and you could find Polish soldiers in every spot between Narvik and Tobruk. Generals, commanders, boys, girls, and even a bear. Yeah, we had a goddamn bear fighting for Poland, and we are very proud of them all, and Europe should be very grateful because those guys have done some unbelievable stuff. In 1940, the Germans started attacking Britain from air.
Right.
If they had gained advantage there, they, well, let's be honest, would probably conquer whole Europe because the British infantry would not stand a chance against Wehrmacht.
Right.
Polish soldiers who did a great job defending Poland offered the British their help, selflessly. They just wanted to force those who had taken their country.
Right. That was so
At some point, Polish soldiers were 20%
That was so sad,
of pilots fighting in the Battle of Britain, and fighting bravely. The pilots of number 303 Polish fighter squadron shot down the biggest number of German aircrafts among all fighting squadrons.
I did that.
But
I remember
attention
that.
please, they did so despite the fact that they had joined the battle when it had already lasted for weeks, and in spite of flying on slower hurricanes. They had the best ratio of shutdowns to losses. 1 hour machine lost to 3 German ones. Poles were fighting not only in Polish, but also in British squadrons.
Yeah.
Shoulder to shoulder, or should I rather say wing to wing, Polish and Royal Air Force pilots defended Britain, and as I said, if not them, Hitler would probably conquer whole Europe, and that's not only my opinion. Even Sir Hugh Downing, commander of Royal Air Force during the Battle of Britain, said after its end, had it not been for the magnificent material contributed by the Polish
Poles.
squadrons and their unsurpassed gallantry, I hesitate to say that the outcome of the battle would have been the same. To simplify, the commander of Royal Air Force said that without Poles, the British would have screwed up.
Yeah, they would have
It
lost.
might seem that our pilots will be appreciated, but no! Instead of a simple thank you, the British tried to downgrade their accomplishments. Examples? No problem. As soon as Poles weren't needed anymore, we were sold to Stalin during the Tehran conference. But wait, there's more. Representatives of every nation fighting against the Nazis were invited for the London victory celebrations of 1946. But not the Poles. It's still not the end, because when decades after the battle there was a monument to the pilots raised, it didn't mention any Polish squadrons. And do you know who protested the most? The British pilots, who knew the bravery of our boys best. Thank you, guys.
Wow.
Fighting the Holocaust. Against the information that's being repeated lately, the Poles helped the Jews like any other nation during World War II. But wait, there's more. I got another sensation. We didn't open the death camps. The Germans did.
The Germans did.
Surprised? It's just the beginning.
I know that.
The Holocaust was a terrible crime. Never till then nobody tried to kill the entire nation in such an organized way. The network of death camps organized by the Germans were supposed to exploit and then destroy the Jews, but also the Poles and everybody who would oppose to the German master race. Yeah, not only Jewish people died in those camps.
Yeah.
Do you know why Germans created their death camps here in Poland? Because here lived the biggest number of Jews, which probably means that they had a pretty nice time here before the war, right? Holocaust is a very broad subject, but let me just mention Operation Harvest Festival, when Germans killed over 30,000 Jews in just one day. And what reaction caused the Holocaust in the Poles, who are blamed for complicity today? Let's start with the fact that only in Poland hiding Jews was punishable by death. Yet Poles were hiding Jews in their houses, basements, root cellars on their fields, even though they knew they could be executed. And indeed, whole families or even whole villages were butchered by Germans for helping Jews. Of course, there were several scumbags who turned in Jews, but a huge part of Poles helped the people whose families we had been living for generations with. Despite own problems with the German invader, the Poles raised the special council to aid Jews, Żegota, to save them from the Nazis.
Nice.
There's the most honorific decoration in Israel, rages among the nations, and among all honored, the most numerous group are the Poles. Without them, the number of Holocaust victims would have been much, much higher, and it's very sad that not everybody wants to remember about this. When we, the Poles, risked our lives helping Jews, Western Europe made money on the Holocaust. Did you know that the French railways made money on transporting Jews to German death camps, and somehow, lately, the Poles are blamed for helping the Nazis?
I didn't know that.
This film could last for hours and I still wouldn't manage to tell you about everything
Yes.
the Poles did during the Second World War, about the Battle of Monte Cassino, about Warsaw Uprising, or the fact that Poland was the only one among occupied countries in which foreign legions of SS had never been created. It shows that we never surrendered to the Germans, we fought like no one else did, and we did not collaborate as it is lately being tried to tell you. Please remember about all that you have just heard the next time someone will try to give you crap about Polish participation in the Holocaust.
Wow. Wow. I hope that you guys enjoy, because every day I am getting to learn something new. You know, and that is so amazing. Now, I just love, you know, the Poles, the heart, man. You know, the bravery. I admire that. And now, even though Poland was the first to fall under the occupation, it's the resistance, guys, the movement, and you know, the Excel forces. They continue to fight until the end of the conflict. Now the Polish forces, even though despite they being outnumbered and outgunned, guys, the Polish forces resisted fiercely, you know, and gaining Poland a reputation for bravery and resilience. That is amazing. I love you guys. I just love you guys. You know, thank you very much for that. And I hope if there are any more like this one, guys, please feel free to leave it in my comment section. You know, for sure I'll go right to it. Alright, so I'm gonna do the original link down in my description, so you guys go take a look. Feel free to leave your suggestions, engage the audience, because you know that's what we're all about on the channel. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share for friends and your families. I respect y'all. Alright, so guys, I'll see you back. Have yourselves a wonderful day. Stay safe all day, and don't forget to share the love, not the hate. Peace out. Till next time. I love y'all.